Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're talking about Paisley in menswear. Bold, elegant and underrated. So you'd think in this day and age, Paisley as a pattern is defunct, no longer relevant or used. But in fact, it's quite surprising that actually it's had a revival over the last few months. And we're starting to hear rumbles of Paisley not only being, outdated now, but it's now dope in 2025, and people are using Paisley and pocket squares as an example to liven up their ensembles and to give a little bit of life to their overall look. Paisley comes in and out of fashion over time, as does many different things. Abstract pocket squares as an example, or ties. They come in, they go out. Florals as well. So it's not uncommon to see Paisley becoming popular and then dies away for a while before a resurgence, potentially via the stimulation of the fashion industry. But I love Paisley as a pattern, and what I like about it is it's a little bit more diverse because it's not just one solid block of colour. It gives you a range of different colours that you could incorporate a pocket square with. And before I've talked about Paisley ties and my love, they really do have such a wide range of colours, the vibrancy of those colours and the liveliness of the actual pattern that really does stand out. But if you're that way inclined that you don't like these big bold patterns, then maybe something a little bit more subtle, like a very small Paisley or teardrop effect on a much paler background, a much more neutral background or plain background, and you still get a very nice aesthetic in wearing a tie of that description. And it's not uncommon to see linings of suits and jackets and coats to have a Paisley patterned lining. It really does liven up the inside of a jacket. Whilst most people say, well, you don't really see the inside of the jacket or the coat, sometimes if you're folding the coat up and you're folding it so that the inner is on the outside of the folded jacket or coat, it does stand out. And if the jacket or coat is undone for any particular reason, it does give a flash of inspiration or colour to the overall ensemble. So when we talk about rocking that Paisley pattern look, especially in 2025, then I still wear a lot of ties, and I know a lot of people shy away from ties because the current fashion trend is not to wear them. But from a point of view of a sartorial look and a finished and polished look where we're wearing a suit in its full entirety, you have to incorporate a tie with that. And I think a Paisley tie is a great way of adding some colour, some personality to your suit wear. I understand some people don't like that and they prefer much sombre and paler colours or textured materials being used. But for me, a Paisley really does liven up that overall look. And it can still be done tastefully as well. It doesn't have to be bright, garish colours. So something to consider there when you're actually wearing that tie is the overall effect you want to wear it for. I would suggest Paisley is not really the most formal of looks. It is more for that casual, informal or semi-formal suit wear that you'll be employing that Paisley tie. Goes particularly well with a Prince of Wales pattern suit, but also goes well with tweed or something along those lines. But when it comes to pocket squares, I think this is really where the growth market is when it comes to employing Paisley at the moment in 2025. And I think it's a really good way of adding a pop of colour and interest and draws people's attentions. And all you have to do basically is pick out one of the primary colours. In this case, we've got a red stripe on the actual tweed jacket, and the pocket square, we've got the predominant colour being bright red. It coordinates with that stripe and lifts the overall look, and goes particularly well even with that jeans situation where we're wearing jeans or a pair of chinos with that sort of tweed jacket look. Maybe at this time of the year it's getting a little bit warmer, so we might wear those light tan brogue shoes. But I think it's still a very good casual look and very much an elegant and sophisticated look, even though we're wearing jeans or something quite informal. Now with pocket squares, there's such a diverse range. So we've got very bold, big teardrops, and they can taper right down to very fine, small teardrop effects on a much broader, pale background. And there are very different versions of this. But when it comes to Paisley and pocket squares particularly, then I think they're a great addition. So when it comes to the patterns, there's some really vibrant colours. For example, this red and black really does stand out, but also yellows and turquoise blues. Then we've got these multicoloured greens, quite large Paisley pattern on that, but it really does stand out. And of course we've then got blues and bronze colours with some creams there, really does stand out. This one's a little bit of an unusual one, and it's designed so that when it's pinched you get a combination of different looks. Here's another one with a very fine pattern, and it's burgundies and some very pale sky blues in there, along with some silvers. Really large Paisley pattern on this one, but it really does stand out. Vibrant colours, really goes well to add that pop of colour. And then of course we've got the silk type ones. Here's a nice one, really does stand out. I've got three here that slightly different variations on the same pattern but different colours. And here you can see the Paisley in there. And here's more yellow based one. And here is more greens in this one. Linen is a great medium for using as a pocket square, and Paisley goes really well. This one is multicoloured little teardrops, and then we come on to these ones. Now these are cotton, and what I like particularly about these is I bought a pack of 5, which basically gives you a very good coverage over a range of different ensembles that you might use. For in this case we've got some light sage greens and reds. We've got some burgundies or almost purple colour with some reds in there. We've got some yellows and blues, and we've also got some bright blues and reds. I would have thought a good addition to this would have been a navy one instead of this bright blue colour, but nevertheless it goes particularly well with the one. The only one left is the one that I'm actually wearing now. When it comes to that vintage look, pocket squares, Paisley pocket squares are a great addition to that look, and you can even get them with quite bland colours, black and white with a spot of burgundy in them, or they could be, for example, along the lines of a navy blue, some very fine cream colours in there, and a spot of red or orange or burnt orange in them. And I still think even if you buy second hand or brand new, they're still very effective in giving you that pop of colour and that spot of interest that really does draw the attention. And the amount of compliments I get from people that see me wearing a pocket square or a Paisley tie, they really do draw the attention. So it's something to consider when you're looking at your ensemble. So just a short video today, but I'm really interested in your views. So if you want to make a comment or an observation about the increase in people wearing Paisley, then jot it down below and we'll have a look at that. And it's always interesting to see people's views. In addition to that, I'd also mention that we have a Patreon page which gives people exclusive access to unique videos for people in the Patreon group. And depending on the level of access you have with the Patreon group, behind the scenes video information, as well as potentially monthly Q&A sessions on video or one-to-one video calls with myself to discuss any sartorial issues or anything you want to just have a chat about. And I'll leave the link down below so you can gain access to that information. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. We also love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make some, jot them down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if you've got a question you'd like to pose to us or you'd like an answer to, then why not jot it down? We'll try and answer your question for you. We also like ideas for future videos, so if you want to make a contribution and make a suggestion about future content, then please, again, jot it in the notes below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The next video could be something that you've recommended or suggested. So until next time, take care.